This week we're going to talk about preparing data for further analysis. So make sure that you have these two SAS datasets downloaded from Canvas and saved in our C drive MGT4270 folder. I have the two SAS datasets already saved in this folder. So we will create a new project, Ch02 underscore clean data. Okay, we're going to create the project on C drive MGT4270, and here is a summary of what's going to happen. So new project is created. Okay, remember there are 4 things that we have to do before we can do anything else. We have done the project. Let's create a diagram. Data cleaning. Then library MGT4270 pointing to C drive MGT4270. Alright, then we have data source that we want to create, and okay, so that's SAS table. Okay, browse, and we have to select the library. Now we're going to use the patients dataset first. Okay, click OK. Now that dataset is selected. Okay. Alright, now this time, okay, last time when we created a dataset, we skipped this part and said we were going to visit this bag. I think this is a good time to talk about this. And here, what this does is it sets up certain parameters that SAS will use to specify 2 things about each variable: the role of the variable and the level of the variable. Role stands for whether a variable is going to be used in the analysis. Is it going to be a target variable, or is it going to be rejected, meaning that it's not going to be used at all? Okay, so those are the role values. Okay, and then level will be whether a variable is numeric variable or is it a classified or a categorical variable. If it is a categorical variable, then there are 2 possibilities: whether you can have the variable can be a nominal variable or it can be an ordinal variable. Ordinal variable is where the values have a hierarchical meaning, whereas nominal is there is no hierarchical meaning. Like nominal would be, an example for nominal would be, say, color: red, blue, white. There is no hierarchy within those values, whereas ordinal would be something like a grade. You have A, B, C, D, F. There is a hierarchical gradation in those values. So ordinal is where there is hierarchical gradation, and nominal is where there is no hierarchical gradation. So these are the kinds of metadata that each field has to be assigned to. And SAS uses, you can use basic, okay, or advanced. Advanced allows you to change the basic parameters. So then if you select advanced, you can customize it. So here are the parameters that SAS uses by default. So these are the rules that SAS will use to set metadata for each variable. So the first one is missing percentage threshold. So that means if a particular column or a field, a variable, has lots of missing values, then maybe that variable is not ready for analysis, so it has to be rejected. So specify a maximum percentage of missing value before the variable is rejected. So right now the default value is if 50% or more of the values are missing, then there is no use keeping that variable anymore. So SAS Enterprise Miner will automatically reject that variable, and you can change that from 50% to 20% or 70% or whatever that you like. Okay. Now reject variables with excessive missing values. Now the default is yes, so which means excessive missing value is defined by that percentage. So if you have excessive missing values, then you reject. Or you may say, okay, no, we don't want to reject excessive missing values, and you can say no, but usually you want it rejected, so you leave it as yes. Now class level count is 20. So class level count is used to specify whether a variable will be an interval variable, meaning a numeric variable, or not. So if a particular column contains text as values, then it goes without saying that it is a nominal or ordinal variable, so there is no problem. But if a variable contains numerical values, okay, and it may still be a categorical variable. For example, you may say you may have product groups 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so product groups 1, 2, 3, 4, it's really not a numerical value. It just says group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, but you're coding them as a numerical value 1, 2, 3, 4, even though these 1, 2, 3, 4, they do not have a numerical meaning. You're not going to be able to use it in any computation. So if a variable has, okay, this threshold here talks about, okay, up to how many unique values would you automatically consider a variable to be a class variable? Class meaning nominal or ordinal. So if it has more than 20 distinct values, then it's most likely not a nominal or ordinal. It is probably an interval variable, a numeric, a genuine interval variable. So this again, the threshold you can change. So right now the default is that if a variable has 20 or less unique values, then it's going to, the SAS metadata advisor is going to automatically classify the variable as a nominal variable. It's not going to, this is for a variable that has numerical values in them. Okay, and then detect class levels, okay, class level count threshold. This property goes with the threshold. So if threshold is set to that, yes means that threshold will be applied. You can set that to no, which means that threshold will not be applied, and SAS will not use that as a, it'll just simply, if it has numbers in it, it'll simply code that as an interval variable. Now reject level counts is the maximum number of levels for a class variable, okay, before it is rejected. So here we are talking about a class variable that has non-numeric values in them. Okay, so it is going to be coded as nominal because these are text values in the variable. But if it has too many distinct values, suppose if it is a column of names, okay, you're going to have lots and lots of different values. So there is no point in keeping that in the analysis. So this threshold says if it has 20 or more unique values in the column, then SAS is going to automatically reject that variable. Of course, the next item is whether you want to apply that threshold. Reject variables with excessive class values. So that's your threshold, and this is what to do if that threshold is crossed, and you say reject the variable. Yeah. And this one is about SQL, so we will not worry about those. So these are the um, threshold values and what to do if the threshold values are exceeded. So for missing values and for numerical values that are to be treated as nominal variables, and then nominal variables whether it should be rejected or not. Okay, so that's your advanced. Now if you click next, then the rules of advanced will be applied to the data set, and the role and the level will be assigned according to the rules. Okay, so this is the first trial in terms of setting the role and level. So these are set by the rules given in the metadata advisor. Okay, but you don't have to accept the role and level set by SAS. You can go and change them.